Hey guys, how you doing? It's Art from Art's Model Trains. So I'm back from York, as you can see, and it was very successful. And as big as this pile looks, it wasn't that much money. It was actually some really good deals hidden in here. And I do have to shamelessly plug that this isn't all a York haul, because this bottom box here is actually a 6-pack of coal hoppers along with this caboose here. And those I pre-ordered at trains.com and had them shipped to the show. So that doesn't count, but I included them in the pile anyway. So rather than cover this all in one big video, I'm actually going to break it up into a couple of videos. And there's a reason behind that. So as you watch the videos, you're going to see there's a couple of things I bought that just have some good stories behind them. So I want to share those separately. But let's just start first by saying, I think Dell put this in his Instagram post. This is only my second York, but this was by far the best York ever. Doesn't really count to say that when you've only been there twice. But I had an amazing time, got to meet so many people. I spent more time talking to people than buying trains. And that is the point of going to a big show like this. Just hanging out, talking with people, whether it was talking with my friends, some of the other guys from YouTube that I know, or just meeting people who, as I was walking around, just talking to individuals, table owners, some of the booth owners in the Orange Hall. I mean, it was just a great time. And I just have to say, I can't wait to get back there in October and do it again. And this time I'm going to go with no cash, so I can't spend any money. So, all right. Let's dive in. And what I'm actually going to do is let's just do this in chronological order, since that's probably the easiest way to break this down. For those of you who haven't been to a big show like York, what I have noticed is you walk in the door and it is a number of halls, and it doesn't matter which hall you walk into, you are overwhelmed. Even for people I think who are veterans, but at least for me in my second time, I was still overwhelmed. It's almost like that first purchase is the hardest one, because you don't want to buy something and then suddenly find it in another table or in another hall for less money or a better one than the one you picked up. So you're like so unsure for that first purchase. So for me, my first purchase was actually pretty easy. I walked into the Orange Hall with my buddy Dell, ended up at the Trains booth, and he talked me into my first purchase, which was this New York Mets 6464 Lionel boxcar. I'm a Mets fan, pretty cool looking car. Actually looks like it'll fit with just, some other boxcars running around. It won't stand out too much. So I figured, why not? And along with that, I picked up a Swift's Butter wood-sided reefer, billboard reefer, to run with some of my steam. So that was my quick purchase, 2 boxcars right off the bat. So the next purchase was pretty easy. Walking through the halls, I saw a table where they were selling parts for Plasticville buildings. And I have Plasticville buildings that my father handed down to me. And some of the little sconces on the front of the buildings for the police station and the post office had broken off. So I was able to buy the cheap little replacement parts that I was able to put in there. So really easy, couple bucks, just looks great. And that police station probably has not had those little sconces on there since my father was a kid. So now it's complete and it looks great. And along with that, a couple tables later, I found something that I thought was pretty cool and fits in. We live in Middletown, and I found the MTH Middletown station, where when you hit the button, it's either people, or in this case, it's cargo, flips up out of the way. And I was like, hey, I need a station for my layout. This was pretty cool. It has a name that matches the town we live in. Let's do it. So that was an easy purchase. So then at lunch, I was talking to a couple of people, and they were mentioning that one of the booths, Nicholas Smith, had Rail King military loads relatively cheap. So right after lunch, I shot over there, and I was able to pick up 2 flat cars, one with I'm going to get this wrong. I think it's an M60 tank. I don't know where the box is on here. Yep, an M60 tank, and one with the missile launcher. And I think they were $35 a piece. So a really good deal there. I know they're Rail King. I run semi-scale, works on my layout. So I picked those up. And while we're talking about that, my last purchase on Saturday, I got a really good deal on 2 more Rail King flat cars without any loads, which was just what I needed. They are military flat cars. I got them for a great price from the guy at the Menards booth, because what I had here in my house was 2 Humvees and 2 Shermans. So I was able to load those on the flat cars, and it works perfectly. So after that, my wallet felt pretty empty, and I did not find what I was looking for. So I did actually find a couple of Metro North sets. They were actually conventional, not the Lion Chief set. And the prices just weren't right for what I was looking for. So I decided to pass on those. I did not see any Subway sets that I actually remember at all, which was really interesting. I probably missed some, but I looked really hard for those and I could not find any. Later that day at about 2:30, all the Trains affiliates collected at the Trains booth. And if you guys haven't done so yet, use my code AMT for $10 off your next purchase of $50 or more. It's a one-time use code, but it does help support this channel. But all the Trains affiliates collected for a photo with Scott and a bunch of the Trains employees in the booth. And first of all, it was a great experience because all of us hanging out together, I got to meet and talk with everybody who I hadn't seen yet in the show. And as we were kind of standing there, okay, so as I said, some of the stuff piled here I'm not going to speak about right now because I'm going to make another video about those. But one last purchase that I did make on the last day was to pick up another Ross 054 switch. So I'm in the process of upgrading my layout to 054 Gargraves track. I had bought a Gargraves switch. It was giving me some problems, so I decided to switch that out for a Ross switch. I've actually already done that, got home last night from York and did it last night, and it works great. It's been a world of difference. No issues so far. One freebie that I did pick up from JD Stucks is a koozie, which I will definitely be using when I crack a beer later today. So thanks guys for watching. Please be sure to check out my next video coming out because it's going to be about what is left in this pile that I didn't talk about. And like I said, it's got a great story behind it. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.